Troglodytes, we've got a very special inside look edition today. This is one you've probably never heard of. This is known as a Les Paul Limited Edition Custom, also sometimes referred to as a Super Custom, which I like to refer to it as. This is basically a V Les Paul mixed with a 2550 mixed with a Les Paul Custom. It was kind of built as an end run to the V Les Paul. The headstock itself is pretty well the same as any other Les Paul Custom of the era. You have the Gibson logo, the custom emblem, and the Schaller tuners with Gibson on them. The truss rod cover on these are very similar to the Les Paul 25 50th anniversary ones. Those ones say Les Paul Anniversary. This one says Les Paul Limited Edition. These are made of brass. And here's what the back of this one looks like. You can see a lot of dirt and grime gets built up over there over the years. These do have maple necks, as you can see under the truss rod cover. Similar to a lot of the high-end Les Pauls of the era, these got a stock brass nut. The fretboard is being oiled right now and the frets were cleaned, but as you can see, it has the Super 400 inlays as famously seen on some of the very old high-end Gibson arch tops, and more recently to this guitar, the 25 50th anniversary. The pickups can vary on which one of these you have, depending on the year. 1980 is the first year, and I believe these go till around 84, 85. So since this is a very early 81, this one still has very late 1979 T-tops in it. Super Custom has the same body as a V Les Paul, which means it has Austrian maple top, back, sides, and neck, but it has a mahogany core to the body. It's a beautiful two-piece maple top on the top here, and you can see this must have been a pickguard off guitar for the most part of its life, as the lacquer has aged pretty evenly underneath it. This particular example features golden speed knobs. Due to the way that hole looks, I believe the pickguard was put on after the factory, but was likely included with the guitar. The pickguard itself shows some age and is original to this era of Gibson and still has the protective sealing over it, which is pretty rare to see, but on some of these, mint condition collector things, you do find these from time to time. They get sort of a interesting matte finish look to them as they age over the years. The bridge on these is the same as any other Gibson of the era, a Schaller made in Germany bridge. The tailpiece is a TP6 tailpiece, which they used on some of these higher end customs. It features fine tuning devices similar to a violin or other fine string instrument. These are more cool looking than practical, but they do work. The back of the headstock on this one isn't too different from any other Kalamazoo made Les Paul custom of the era, as the standard serial number with the vertical Made in USA stamp. Some of these later ones did get a pearl plaque on them that were numbered, so some of the later ones will look a little different to this one. But as you can see, once again, the original Gibson branded Schaller tuners. No fancy tips on this model or anything. The neck on these is very similar to a 25 50th anniversary. It is a 5-piece maple neck. You have the 2 lines running down and the super heavily flamed Austrian maple on this neck. I mean, just look at this one dance around. This is a very active neck. The back of the guitar is the same as the top. You've got a 2-piece Austrian flamed maple, heavily flamed, all over. It's just such a gorgeous guitar. This particular example still has the ashtray shielding tin on it. I'm sure later examples won't have this though. From this angle right here, you can see that the back is not as thick as the top is. You can see the light colored wood there. That's where it ends, and then it becomes a solid mahogany core. The top is definitely thicker than the back. Here are what the electronics look like. You can see an April of 79 stamp here. And the pot codes are, looks like mid to late 78, 79s. Not too much is different in the toggle switch cavity. Something unique to the V Les Paul and Super Custom is that the body actually kind of contours down a little bit before the routes for the control cavities. You can see it more prominently on the 3-way toggle cavity. At the top of the cutaway horn here, there's actually a little piece of what almost looks like rosewood or mahogany that's kind of grafted on there. The same thing is on the Les Pauls. I'm not really 100% sure why that is there. It might be because that angle is way too steep to run a solid piece of laminate across it. At the bottom of the guitar, there's also a piece of binding that runs through where the strap button goes. I hope you enjoyed the inside look of this very rare Les Paul Super Custom. I make these videos because not everyone is as lucky as I am to get so many beautiful guitars, so I want to share these with the world because, let's face it, even if you frequent guitar shows all the time, you will rarely ever see one of these show up, so I'm just happy to share this with the world. The only thing left is how does she sound? The cleans will be running through a Gibson Super Gold Tone GA30RV. Neck pickup. Middle position.